when we're talking about these type of things, we're talking about anything you would need a loan for, right? So like a house, a car, a boat.
Yeah, I mean,
any of these things, or
how under Military Lending Act, a house would not be under that. That would be excluded. A car would be excluded unless you had some additional stuff, right? You'd have gap insurance or things unrelated to the purchase. And I actually co-counsel these cases, not strictly Military Lending Act, but other types of consumer cases with a firm that's got one of these up on appeal in the Fourth Circuit. It's, to my knowledge, one of the furthest it's gone. And basically it's a vehicle case with those sort of intricacies. But yeah, you can't do these unlawful acts over and over and over again and expect to not be held accountable. And I think the Military Lending Act accomplishes that. I really do.
So when you talk about the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau and they're try to crack down on the allotments and stuff like that, how does that happen? How do you go about kind of trying to stop this stuff?
Well, so the civil enforcement under CFPB, and I've never worked for them or any other agency as an attorney, so that's more administrative, and it wouldn't prohibit anyone from filing a lawsuit against that company unless in the civil settlement, right? In that civil enforcement action, if in the settlement it said, hey, no private right of action, well, then you may be prohibited from filing. But really what they're doing is the Military Lending Act, it's a misdemeanor for a company to do this. So they're enforcing it from a governmental agency perspective, whereas a private attorney is representing the interests of an individual who's been ripped off. And we do that in a number of ways. I mean, one of the best ways to do it is, a class action, because of the fact that we can take all of these individuals that have been harmed and bring it as one case. So one person versus however many tens, hundreds, thousands. Yeah. It's strength in numbers, right? I mean, because these companies know who's going to be able to afford to pay an attorney out of pocket to litigate over $500, $1,000,
right.
$10,000, right? But it's still important. I mean, I don't know about you, but $500 to me, I'd rather not lose that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but these companies know, and that's how they avoid a lot of these obligations, is they just say, well, come get it,
Yeah.
And if everybody just sits by and nobody's willing to, push on, people are still going to be taken advantage of.
Absolutely. You mentioned there that it's a misdemeanor for some of these companies. They know that it's a misdemeanor and they know that they're committing a crime in a sense, but it's still worth it for them to try and do it?
I can't figure it out. I've never, worked for a company that was doing anything like this. So
right.
I don't know what the cost benefit is. In my mind, the cost benefit is, well, the government agency isn't holding them accountable. Well, they get caught, they pay the fine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they fold up shop, they go bankrupt. I mean, there's really no, if you're doing a cost benefit from a sleazy company, point of view, well, you get caught, you pay the fine, you keep pushing forward, right? If you have CFPB enforcing it and you have these individual attorneys enforcing it on behalf of military families, now we're really starting to squeeze those companies. So they got to do one of two things: they either get legit, or we run them out of business. And I think either one of those is great, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see people get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.